to another EFT Business Spotlight. I'm Alina Frank.
And I'm Craig Weiner.
And here with us today is Rita Crockett. Hi, Rita.
Hi there.
So, Rita, we like to start off by asking how you got involved with EFT. How did you discover it? I know that you're a longtime licensed mental health care professional, and but this is kind of out of the range for most people, even the most open-minded, especially you. I mean, you've been in it for a long time. You've been doing EFT and energy psychology for years. So what was the initial sort of introduction to all of this?
Well, I've always been interested in mind, body, spirit, ways of working with people, the holistic approach. But in 2003, when my mother died, one of my brothers knew EFT and was practicing it. And he shared it with the family and helped us get through that week. And then a year later, I was at a national convention working behind the scenes, and they assigned me to work with Fred Gallo for 3 days while he taught tapping. And I've been hooked ever since. So that was 2004. So I've been studying and working with it ever since 2004.
Yeah, Fred was actually the originator of the term energy psychology.
Yes.
So you went right to the source. Good for you.
I told him I was one of his groupies.
That's great. I'd like to hear a little bit more about what you bring to the table in addition to EFT and who you like to work with, and kind of a little bit about your practice. I'd love people to hear a little bit about that, because it is really rich, is what I want to say.
Well, I've always been interested in helping people heal from traumatic events in their life. I really like what Gary Craig said: if you made a list of all the things you wish you could have skipped, that's stuff to work on. And that's kind of the way I look at it. And then I'm also licensed as a substance abuse counselor, as well as being a coach. And I like to go for root causes. And for substance abuse people, I seem to do best after they've been sober for a little while and they're really ready to get in and work with it. So that's some of the clients I really like working with. And the other clients that I just love working with is just women who want to improve the quality of their life. They want to find their voices. And of course, that's usually working through trauma in order for that to happen. And so that's where I focus.
Yeah. And without revealing any, identifying details or revealing too much, can you share like a story from someone that you've helped get from, from the beginning to the transformation part using these techniques?
Well, there are several of them. Several people I've done because I've been around for a while now. But one of the ones I'm most aware of right now, and she said I can share her story. She was a student. I mean, she was working full time, but she was also working on a master's degree at the time. And her supervisor knew of me and recommended she come and see me. So I helped her in working, and it turned out a lot of trauma work to help her get through her degree and then her master's degree. And she ended up becoming a counselor herself. And she has gotten trained in both EMDR and EFT. And one of the big things that's happened over the years was she kept having suicidal thoughts. She wouldn't act on them, but she kept having suicidal thoughts. And when we got to the roots of that, she was very young when her mother died. And she found that she didn't understand why she survived. And she kept wanting to go be with her mother. And we did that through matrix re-imprinting. Mm-hmm. And when we got that, there hasn't been any suicidal efforts at all, or thoughts. As a matter of fact, she just remarried. And so that's just fun.
That's a great story.
Yeah. How long have you been working and doing this work and working as a trauma-informed practitioner now, Rita?
25 years. When I became a counselor, it was to do trauma work. I knew that because I had two therapists early in my life who was reading the very early work done by Bessel van der Kolk and some of those other, and they were applying them to their clients. And that was at the time when people thought that stuff was really weird. And they were reading it and applying it. And I'm just very grateful to those two therapists.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Now, we had the opportunity to travel to Oklahoma and to be with you and to see, your colleagues and do some training there. And I was particularly struck by what can I say? The level of trauma that is part of the community in Oklahoma. I
Oklahoma
mean,
City,
yeah,
especially.
Oklahoma City, and the state, and just going back to, whether it be, the Trail of Tears, to all of your natural disasters, to the Oklahoma City bombing. I mean, there is a lot of trauma there.
Yes, yes, there is. And I've helped people with the from the bombing and from the tornadoes. I've worked with people on that. And the last tornado, the real one that did a lot of damage, was 2013. And that was the first one when I saw people really starting going to substance abuse. That was
Mm,
like the second or third tornado they'd been through in less than, well, about 5 years, 10 years. And then they started going to substance abuse as a way of
mm,
trying to deal with all of that. I mean, heck, when you've had your home damaged 3 times and a couple of them lost their homes twice, things like that. So, yeah, but the people here are also very resilient.
mm-hmm. Yes.
So,
Yes. And it's great that they have you. So,
Hmm.
um, so you work as in mental health in Oklahoma, but you also have an EFT practice. So how do people find you? What ways do you work with people? Is it all in person? Like, what are the different ways that you do this?
I do it mostly online. I have a few people locally that want to come in person, but I prefer to do it online. And one of the things that I like about doing it online is for the clients, it saves them travel time.
Hmm.
As I've thought about it over the years, a lot of people traveling to an appointment and back, lots of times it can take 30 to 45 minutes to travel to an appointment and after appointment. So that's quite an investment in time that people put in and have for years. And so one of the blessings of the last year has been as people have been more and more willing to work online. Of course, I've been working online for about 10 years. I think this has been a blessing.
Mhm.
And more work online, and you can just reach more people, and it saves them time and effort. But there
Right.
are those who want to do it in person, and so the
How do people
common,
find you, Rita?
they find me through my website, transformyourlifewithrita.com.
Transformyourlifewithrita.com. That's
I like
great.
that.
So Rita, for someone that's listening and has perhaps heard, it's out there, you see it, you read it. I still come across where people say, oh, you have trauma, you have PTSD, you'll never heal from it. Like, someone listening and watching this interview that's in that place, that has read or seen someone say that, what do you want to say to that person that's watching?
Well, first thing I'll say is I used to have PTSD, and I don't anymore. And I don't promise people that they will totally recover from it. What I do say is let's work on it and let's see what you can how much you can gain from it. Uh, there was a time when I worked with 2 different psychiatrists who had worked with people who had done EMDR and other energy work. And both those psychiatrists said that if the client is willing to go through the work, put the effort out there, that they end up on minimal medication. And both psychiatrists said they had had some clients that were able to get off medication entirely. So the way I look at it, you do the best you can and you will have an improved quality of life, whatever that means for you.
Great.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for being here, and bless you for doing
Mhm.
this very important work with people.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you. I enjoy it.